Hi. Hope you're able to see me. Hello, sir. Okay. Hi. So welcome to very funny name, Kappi with Kiran. So I know. So all of you are connecting it with Coffee with Kiran. I'm so excited because I'm coming on FB Live after almost a year, and still we are in pandemic. Last time also when we were in pandemic, I came on online and career coffee. Yeah, always I love this coffee, and then coffee is always an emotion. Today, I have a great privilege to have our own collector bro, Mr. Prasanth Nair IAS, who wrote an awesome book, and today we will be discussing with him about that. Prashant sir, welcome to the streaming. I will just bring him and welcoming him to the screen. Sir, thank you so much for joining with us. Am I audible to you?
I'm
Hi, sir. Yeah, I think your voice is a little bit
I
breaking.
just doubt whether mine is it my network or is it your I don't know what's the issue. Should I check?
Okay. That's fine. Probably some people can just help us understand here. So already people are watching us. So I think. Thank you so much. So people are just joining with us just to understand more about our discussions. It's going to be really exciting. So we have people from various part of the country. So we prefer to talk in English, and of course, we'll be talking in Manglish. It's a little bit of Malayalam, yeah, and in English. And Prashant sir will join with us now. There's a little bit issue with the mic. Okay. Meanwhile, so sir again connect back with us. So yeah,
Is this any better?
yeah, this is better, sir. After almost a year, we are together on live.
Yes. Happy to be on your show.
Thank you so much, sir. And you know that from where this name came, right? Kappi with Kiran. We have discussed this 2.5 years back.
Yeah. So I'm
And
happy that it's happening finally. It's good, and I hope that the show becomes the showstopper. Let it be something really good.
that's good. Thank you so much. And a few days back, there was a post by Miss Gopika Nandu. So that is where I again picked up the name Kappi with Kiran. Then I thought this is the time probably we have to start again to come up with. So, sir, so coming back to the topic. So probably I believe this is your first show after launching your book, if I'm not wrong. I haven't seen
Yeah,
you
yeah,
talking
yeah.
in live about your when you're talking about your book. Because this is I have read this, so I have this copy. Of course, he didn't sign this, so I will get it signed when I meet you. And this is really amazing. Really, this is really amazing. I we finished it almost in a day and a half. So 2 days back, I got this. So I'm done with this, and it's an amazing book. And especially the foreword is written by Honorable Dr. Shashi Tharoor, and the introduction is by Tony Thomas, the former CIO of Nissan, and of course, quite good friends of Prashant sir. And sir, this question, the name quixotic Thallals, is it inspired by Dr. Shashi Tharoor? Okay, I think sir's screen is little bit hang, so I'll just wait for him to come back on screen. Hmm? Uh, Okay, I think sir has some internet connectivity issues. I hope you're able to hear me. This is his new book. I'll just wait for him to join. But this is his new book, and today we'll be having discussion on this about his quixotic Thallals. That is where the names is so interesting. I'll just is this connected back?
I'm so sad that my connection is, the problem with the connection here is that I'm in Calcutta right now, and
Okay,
just a few minutes back we had a pretty strong storm here. I don't
okay.
know from it just came out of the blue. We had really powerful winds gushing here. Most of the connections, most of the it's all on backup. So I'm not surprised that we are having a network issue, but I know it's very disturbing. What to do?
No problem, sir. So thank you so much that you, in between your tight schedule, you joined from Kolkata. I know you're traveling there. So the question was, is the name the quixotic Thallals of a Cell 7? Is the name inspired by Dr. Shashi Tharoor?
Not really. Actually, Don Quixote has been one of my favorite characters. Uh, in school we learned. I think it was in one of a non-detailed text that we studied Don Quixote, and Don Quixote has been a character that that is, I'll say, inspired me because it sounds very stupid, but Don Quixote is someone who keeps trying things. He believes in himself. It might be at the end of the day, it might be stupid, but for him, he's a hero. As far as he is concerned, he's trying his best to get out the best out of him. I mean, isn't that fun? And at times, all of us are in some way or the other, some sort of a Don Quixote. Whatever little you are doing is out of the world. But you ask somebody else, he'll say that it is nothing but talla, it's nothing, it's nonsense. So, if you look at yourself and you start writing things about yourself, what you did, what you went through, at the end of the whole thing, you really do feel that, oh God, have I gone a bit overboard? Have I, gone beyond the levels of sanity? Have I taken myself too seriously? So it's then that in the end, when you're putting a title, I thought, okay, I think at places at least I have gone overboard. So it looks or sounds like Don Quixote and his attack of the windmills. So something sort of that. Maybe it's a bit of a self-deprecating thing, but yeah, I think the title justifies itself when you go through the book.
And I think you're contributing a new word to English dictionary called
I hope that
Thallal.
I hope that Thallal gets included in the Oxford dictionary someday.
So again, uh, so majorly, is this book more of you or the incidents?
Neither actually.
I'm sorry that there are some, our sir has joined from Kolkata. So there are some network issues. Probably we have to have little bit patience. Thank you so much. Yeah. So actually, we lost you in between.
Is it okay? I'm back. As I told you, we had a pretty bad storm here half an hour back. So we are all on power backup and all that stuff. So we don't
Okay.
know how good the connection is. What were so how much? I don't know where we got disconnected. What was I saying? I
So
mean,
we were the question was about, is this book more about
yeah,
you
yeah,
or the incidents? Yeah.
yeah. I was saying neither because it's not about me. It's not about all the incidents either. It's just uh, a few incidents that touched me, or incidents that uh, I'll say transformed me or made me think. Or no, I'll say this is a book about what I went through rather than I did this, I did that. It's like what did I feel when certain things happen. So it's a kind of an emotional book. Since you have read it, you would appreciate that. But, it's full of emotions. It's about not of course there are lighter moments. There are things which see things lightly, but at the end of the day, it is deeply emotional, and it says the story of my transformation. I'll say I won't say that I transformed into something else, but then yeah, you do change, isn't it? So the events or incidents or people or experiences that made me think in a certain way, which I think should be shared with the public. Which these are things which have never come to the limelight. Things which have never been told. The inside stories of how life goes. When you manage certain things. What are the intricate inside stories which might be interesting as well. It might be humorous as well, and it could be touching as well. So basically sharing those. That's how I'll put it.
Okay. Sir, and in one of the early chapters, so I have to. This is actually the beauty of this book is about the arts and
Illustrations.
illustration. The way you have kept, and I can see a lot of WhatsApp stickers everywhere. I can see a lot of WhatsApp stickers, and you are a master in that. So a lot of amazing, pictures over here, which exactly depicts the chapter. So whose idea is this? This is your idea or editors? And I have to say, I think
Actually,
Miss Nitya and Mr. Ranjit.
Nitya is a master illustrator. She's based out of Dubai. She is a jewelry designer. So Nitya did the illustrations and Ranjit did the design. Ranjit Ramdasan is a master designer. I don't know how many of you know about him. He's from Kerala. He's the one who has designed the UNEP logo. Okay, United Nations Environment Program. The logo has been designed by Ranjit. He lives in China right now. He has designed lots of logos, lots of major brands have been designed by him. So these are just good friends. So when I just finished the text portion halfway through, I thought of having illustrations and also the cover design. So I got in touch with them, and it was then a beautiful team effort. So you'll find illustrations that don't really straight away depict something. It has something else inside it. You'll find meanings within it. And yes, stickers were something which or we used to communicate extensively using stickers. So naturally it had to be part of the book. There are certain portions where you ought to have a sticker, otherwise it doesn't convey.
That's actually awesome. And in one of the early chapters, so let me just pick up a little bit Malayalam as well in between. So Sarah എഴുതിയിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു sentence ഉണ്ട്. So in there it says, about me, within me, speaking me, to the me, as observed by me. So that is one sentence where you started one of the chapters.
Yeah.
So my question is, how you really feel like you're different from other IAS officers? ആ ചാപ്റ്ററിനകത്ത് ആക്ച്വലി അത് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട് എങ്കിലും ഞാൻ ചോദിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത് സാറിന് എങ്ങനെയാണ് തോന്നുന്നത് മറ്റൊരു IAS ഓഫീസറുമായിട്ട് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഹൗ ഡിഫറെന്റ് ആർ യു ആർ യു ഫീലിംഗ് ലൈക്ക് യു ആർ ഡിഫറെന്റ്?
No, I'm not at all different. I think I said that in the chapter also. Like people assume that you are different, so the discussion starts off from that point. നിങ്ങൾ ഡിഫറെന്റ് ആണ്, നിങ്ങൾ എന്താ ഇങ്ങനെ ഡിഫറെന്റ് ആയിരിക്കുന്നത് എന്ന ഒരു സ്ഥാനത്ത് നിന്ന് ഡിസ്കഷൻ സ്റ്റാർട്ട്സ്. ബട്ട് what I say is I'm not I'm like any other officer. It's just that at that point of time there were certain things which had to be done, which if it were not me, somebody else would have done it. And there's a generation shift that was happening in bureaucracy, so I was just part of that. So അതല്ല ഒരു സമയത്തിന്റെ ഒരു കളി എന്ന് പറയാനുള്ളൂ. It's not like by design. But then, yeah, within the chapter, you'll find certain aspects which I have disclosed. If you could say that I'm a bit of a deviant. So those aspects also I have revealed. ഇതുവരെ പറയാതിരുന്ന ചില രഹസ്യങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളത് വായിച്ചാൽ ഞെട്ടിപ്പോകും.
അതെ, ഈ ചാപ്റ്ററിൽ എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ബ്രോ വ്യത്യസ്തനാകുന്നു എന്ന് വായിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നിങ്ങൾ ഞെട്ടും.
ക്ലിക്ക് ചെയ്താൽ ഞെട്ടും എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്.
സർ അതുപോലെ ഇപ്പോഴും നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ കളക്ടർ കോഴിക്കോട് പേജാണ് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഹാവിംഗ് ദി മാക്സിമം ഫോളോവേഴ്സ് ഇൻ ഇന്ത്യ ഇറ്റ്സെൽഫ് ഫോർ എനി കളക്ടർ. സോ സർ അന്ന് തന്നെ സോ യു ലിവറേജ് ദ സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയ ടു ദ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ലെവൽ ഇൻ 2015 ഇറ്റ്സെൽഫ്. സോ അതൊരു അൺകൺവെൻഷണൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കാര്യമല്ല. സോ ഹൗ യു ഫീൽ ലൈക്ക് സ്റ്റാർട്ടിംഗ് ദാറ്റ്? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ ഒരു കറേജ്, ആ ഒരു റിസ്ക് ടേക്കിംഗ്, സോ ഹൗ യു ഫെൽ ദാറ്റ്?
അത് അടിസ്ഥാനപരമായി വിവരമില്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ടാണ് കറേജ് വന്നത്. Ignorance is bliss. So because I never knew what I was getting into. And there was nobody who did that before. അതുകൊണ്ട് പേടിക്കാനില്ല. You never knew. When you do something for the first time, you don't know the dangers, you don't know the pitfalls, you don't know where you are heading. And once you start off, then there's no escape route. You have to manage it. So you better manage it very well. So you learn it on the go. Because you didn't have a precedent. You never had a precedent of any other collector or any other official at that point of time in 2015, where social media was being used for administrative purposes. This was being used for the first time, and so you learn it on the go. You learn it the difficult way also. But I'd say I was very lucky that we could learn pretty fast, and we didn't get into very serious trouble at least. I have seen people getting into trouble. Serious trouble later on, even after they had precedents to study and learn. I think, yeah, I'm a decent learner in that sense. Like, ഒന്നോ രണ്ടോ സാധനം കുറെയൊക്കെ മിനിമം ബുദ്ധിയൊക്കെ നമുക്കുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ അതുകൊണ്ട് വലിയ കുഴപ്പമില്ലാതെ പഠിച്ചെടുത്തു എന്ന് പറയാം. ഈ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയ I think was really, it was there on your face. നമ്മുടെ മുഖത്ത് നോക്കി നിൽക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാതിരിക്കുന്ന, it was surprising for me. കാരണം you had to interact with the public. ഒരു പബ്ലിക്കിനായിട്ട് ഇന്ററാക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു ഓഫീസിൽ ചാർജ് എടുത്ത് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ അന്ന് തന്നെ നിങ്ങൾ സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയ ഹാൻഡിൽ എന്തേ എന്ന് ചോദിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളത്, it was coming quite natural to me because I started off with the Facebook page on day one. And അന്ന് you had nobody to advise us. ഇന്നിപ്പോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വലിയ സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയ മാനേജേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്, സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയ ഇതുണ്ട്, മറ്റേണ്ട് മറിച്ചുണ്ട്. At that time, in 2015, I would say probably 2015 to 16 കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോഴേക്കും probably I would be the social media guru. Nobody was there who was actually hands on. But then now things have changed. And there are far more really experienced people, experts who can advise you, can guide you. But at that time it was like ekla chanore. You never knew what was happening.
But then another one, this also again taken from your chapter, from your own sentences. So either it is also like whatever I'm asking, so all those things are taken from your own books and it's your own words. So I'm just throwing this, that's it. So one of those statement again, so I just want to ask you this, even though you have written in a different way, my question is, have you ever felt you are a funny, not so serious IAS officer who handles everything with a pinch of humor? അങ്ങനെ സാറിന് എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും തോന്നുന്നുണ്ടോ, ഞാനൊരു സീരിയസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള IAS ഓഫീസർ അല്ല, so everything I'm taking it very light, or someone else have told you this, so you are not that serious? I'm so sorry, sir. There's some net connectivity issues because of the storm is happening in Kolkata. So sir is in Kolkata. Sir, Kolkata, so കുറച്ച് network issues ഉണ്ട് സാറിന്. So that is why we are just getting bit difficulty. അല്ലാതെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യന്റെ പ്രശ്നമാണ്. സർ ഒന്ന് ഡിസ്കണക്ട് ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്, സർ വിൽ ജോയിൻ ബാക്ക്. സോ അതുവരെയും ഈ ബുക്കിനകത്ത് ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറയാനുണ്ടോ. സോ ഏകദേശം ഒരു 184 pages ഉണ്ട്. So 184 pages in that, there are awesome things. All his experiences he has shared about how he has changed, created a lot of transformational things in Calicut. Starting from his own way, why he wanted to become an IAS officer, but then the thought process, how he implemented, executed various things, about the use of social media, how he really leveraged the use of social media to reach out to the public. അതിനകത്ത് അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമുണ്ട്, ഒരിക്കലും സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയയിൽ ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് അബൌട്ട് ഗ്ലോറിഫൈങ് ദ കളക്ടർ, ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് അബൌട്ട് ഗ്ലോറിഫൈങ് ദ IAS officer. So what he says is like you have to mainly come up with all those communication, you have to really be with the people. So majorly social media, he used to be with the people rather than glorifying about himself. That's one way which he talks about how officials can really use the social media. It's another aspect of it. And again, he talks about compassion, he talks about empathizing, about various initiatives. So I was, so sir has come again, Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ചോദിച്ചതാണ്, സാറിന് എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും അങ്ങനെ തോന്നിയിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഹാവ് യു എവർ ഫെൽറ്റ് സാർ ഒരു സീരിയസ് അല്ലാത്ത വളരെ ഫണ്ണി ആയ വളരെ കാഷ്വൽ കൂൾ IAS ഓഫീസർ ആണ്? Or somebody would have have anyone told this to you?
അല്ല ആക്ച്വലി ഞാനെന്ത് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു matter in this because even ആരുടെ ജോക്കർ ആണോ what is this funny
Uh, I'm just waiting for Sir to join back. I think a little bit of network issues. Okay, meanwhile, when he joins back, I will give you a lot of information. E-book he has, those people who want to read this. There are a lot of Malayalam words are being used, like in the sense, like, very interesting ways. For example, Sir has come. So, Sir, we lost
sorry
you. We missed you.
lost and found again.
Yeah, lost and found. Okay.
Yeah,
Question is there. Sir,
I don't know where we lost out. ഞാൻ പറയായിരുന്നു like people have this problem with humor കാരണം ഞാൻ വലിയ തമാശക്കാരനോ വലിയ കോമഡിക്കാരനോ ഒന്നുമല്ല പക്ഷെ ഐ വുഡ് ലൈക്ക് ടു സീ തിങ്സ് ലൈറ്റ്ലി കുറച്ച് ലൈറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് കാരണം ഇങ്ങനെ ഭയങ്കര തല വെച്ച് മസിൽ പിടിച്ച് ജീവിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യമുണ്ടെന്ന് ഐ ഡോണ്ട് ബിലീവ് സോ ആൻഡ് ഐ തിങ്ക് ദർ ഇസ് എ പ്ലേസ് ഫോർ ഹ്യൂമർ ഇൻ every place be it workplace or family or public life wherever that artificial putting on that seriousness sometimes it's so irritating and it's so unnatural. You have to be natural, that's it. Everyone has a nature, a behavior nature on it. There is a nature that's mine, so I can't keep acting funny in different places. So that doesn't mean that ഒരു ഷവാടക്കിന് പോയിട്ട് അവിടെ കോമഡി പറയുന്നല്ല ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് പക്ഷെ there is a common sense which you apply but ഒരു സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ ലൈറ്റായിട്ട് എടുക്കുകയും അനാവശ്യമായിട്ട് ആൾക്കാരെ ചാടിക്കുകയും വരട്ടേണ്ട അതിൻ്റെ ഒന്നും കാര്യമൊന്നും you have to get things done and move on, that's it. You don't want to screw up somebody else's life, that's not the whole purpose. But when you apply this humor thing and all that, or you do joke or tend to carry your subordinated staff or people around with you in a very friendly way. Occasionally, there are people who take you for granted. അത് ചിലപ്പം പറയുന്ന മാതിരി those things do happen കാരണം they think that you are not serious about things. That's not right. കാര്യത്തിന്റെ വഴിക്കും മറ്റേന്റെ വഴിക്കും പോകാനും അങ്ങനെ കൊണ്ടുപോകാനും അറിയണം എന്നാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒരു വിശ്വാസം.
Even in one of the chapter, like a mere FB collector. So in that chapter, I really loved one statement, but I really want for the readers to go through that chapter and understand, how you can really use anger. You can just quote that, like, I want to ask this question again. You prefer anger as an emotion or anger as a tool? I really got confused with that because, you have quoted that. For you, anger is not just an emotion, anger is a tool. So how much you agree to that?
Yeah, see, I think anger is definitely an emotion, but then the problem is most emotions, especially anger. ഇത് നമ്മുടെ those who have read the Bhagavad Gita would remember. അതില് ഭഗവത്ഗീതയില് one major portion says about ക്രോധത്തെ പറ്റിയാ പറയുന്നത്. ആ ക്രോധത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ബുദ്ധിനാശത്തിൽ നിന്ന് മറ്റേത് it goes step by step and you are finished, you are screwed totally. Your anger, the moment it starts controlling you, you are finished. But if you are able to control anger, it's good. As a tool, it becomes something useful in your hands. ഇത് പറയാൻ വളരെ എളുപ്പമാണ്. പക്ഷേ what happens is there are lots of studies that have been conducted on all these emotions. Anger is not the only emotion. Most of the other emotions, which Sangadavam, Santoshavam, it could be even sexual excitement. All these are major emotions in your portfolio. Now, uh, you as a civilized social being, you know how to control these emotions according to the societal needs. Now, except for anger. Now, anger at times, you know that when you are driving a car, you are supposed to behave properly. But you see so many of these road rage issues. Road rage endana actually. It is actually anger getting out of your hand, and the anger starts controlling you. You know that you are not supposed to do that. You clearly know. But just because of that anger, you lose sight of everything. And the person who comes against you, അയാളും അതിനപ്പുറം അപ്പൊ ഒരു give and take തുടങ്ങും. You feed his anger and he feeds your anger. It just goes on and on. And ultimately, both of you are being controlled by somebody else, which is called this anger. ഒരു devil വന്ന് control ചെയ്യുന്ന കൂട്ടാണ്. But if you detach yourself and keep watching your emotions, every emotion, you might feel that ഇത് ഒരു വട്ടാണോ എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കും. പക്ഷെ വട്ടല്ല. You actually have to do this exercise of watching your emotions to keep that in control, and more than that, to know about yourself. നമ്മൾ എവിടെ പോകുന്നു, എങ്ങോട്ട് പോകുന്നു, നമ്മൾ ഏത് റൂട്ടാണ് പിടിക്കുന്നത് എന്നുള്ളത് നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലായില്ലെങ്കിൽ പിന്നെ ആർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും? So you definitely have to watch that. So if you watch your emotions, you will slowly start having a bit of grip over it. And then this is the worst emotion in my opinion, if it is left uncontrolled or or untamed. Whereas if it's controllable, it's very beautiful. You can use this anger as a tool to ചില സമയത്ത് കാര്യങ്ങൾ നടത്തിയെടുക്കാനൊക്കെ ഒരു ടൂള് പുറത്തെടുത്തിട്ട് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ട് തിരിച്ചു വെക്കുന്ന പോലെ. അത് ശരിക്കും ദേഷ്യം വരേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല. പക്ഷെ ഇന്നത്തെ ഈ സമൂഹത്തിൽ കുറച്ചൊക്കെ ചിലപ്പോൾ ദേഷ്യം തോന്നിപ്പിക്കേണ്ടി വരും. അപ്പോഴും സൈക്കോളജിയിൽ പറയുന്ന കുറെ ഫാക്ടേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. ഈ ബ്രീതിങ് സ്പീഡാവുക, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ കണ്ണുകൾ വികസിക്കുക, നമ്മൾ അങ്ങനെ വിറയലോടുകൂടെ അഡ്രിനലിനൊക്കെ പമ്പ് ചെയ്ത് വേറൊരു ലെവലിൽ സാധനം പോകും. ഇതൊന്നും നമ്മുടെ ശരീരത്തിന് നല്ലതല്ല. അതേസമയം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ദേഷ്യം പ്രകടിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ഈ സീനൊന്നും ഇല്ലാതെ, ഇത്രയും ബഹളവും ഇത്രയും ഷോ ഒന്നും ഇല്ലാതെ തന്നെയും മറ്റേ ഹിന്ദിയിൽ പണ്ട് ഏതോ പരസ്യത്തിൽ പറയുന്ന ജോർ കാ ഝക്ക ധീരെ സെ ലഗേ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ വളരെ പതുക്കെ എന്നാൽ ശാന്തമായി കൊടുക്കാനുള്ള സാധനം കൊടുക്കാം. ആൻഡ് യു ഗെറ്റ് യുവർ തിങ്സ് ഡൺ. അത്രേ ആവശ്യമുള്ളൂ. ആ ഒരു പ്ലസന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആ ഒരു ഇക്വിലിബ്രിയം തെറ്റിക്കാതെ പരമാവധി പോകാൻ നോക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. That's it. I think I've mentioned that in the chapter about
yes.
respond ചെയ്യുന്നതിന്റെ ടൈമോ അതിനെ പറ്റിയൊക്കെ കുറച്ച് ലേശം തള്ളിയിട്ടുണ്ട് അവിടെ.
So basically what I felt was each chapter is actually a case study. So I feel like this should be bought even by all the education institutions, MBA colleges, degree colleges. I feel like this should be in the library rather than just another read. This should be an academic book, because each chapter is a case study, because you have explained your experience. Say, for example, I'll just read page number 30. If you don't mind, me reading out some portion of your book. So this is from your interview of day one when you joined in Calicut as a collector. So you joined in Calicut as a collector, and then this question came from the media. So are you there? Okay. The statement which he gave, because the media people asked him, so what is that you're going to do for Calicut? So, or what do you want to be in Calicut? So what he replied was, I would like to be known as a collector who presided over a district of peaceful people, wholeheartedly helping one another and displaying love and fraternity, than a district with lot of flyovers, metro lines, and growing concrete jungles lacking humanity. So this is what he has given, and day one, when those people from Calicut, or probably the media people from Calicut, asked him, what are you going to do as a collector? So what he said was, as a collector, I'm going to improve the humanity in people, or probably bring out the humanity in people. So actually, what prompted you to make that statement? Because people are looking at, probably say, visible infrastructure to identify someone. So identify a performance, people are looking at visible infrastructure rather than just, a thought. So where you have mentioned is a thought. So how could that happen?
I don't know whom to blame for that, but I think that day in the morning I had read a news article about Nainar Balika Sadanam, which was an institution in Kozhikode. So, which is a place where Gandhiji's remains were kept for some time when KLPG had come there. It was a historic place. So it was, I think it was some anniversary, 67th anniversary or something that day, the day before I joined. So I had read that in the morning newspapers uh, about that, and perhaps I don't know, perhaps the, the thought about the Gandhian talisman and all that had got into my head that day. Uh, and if you read the previous chapter to that, the way through which my thoughts were traveling by then, thanks to my friend, my school senior Ashok. So all those probably came in, and I was never really excited with these highways and huge buildings and all that in any
Okay.
case. So, the social sector was always my priority. So it was a natural, honest answer. And what the question that was asked was, what are the new projects that you're going to bring to Kozhikode? I had absolutely no idea of bringing any new project to Kozhikode. I don't think that's the job of any collector either, because
Okay.
the new projects and all that stuff. It's of course the political executive will have some idea about what they would like to push for. There are certain practical projects which are inevitable, which will anyway be taken up by the collector. But you don't bring a project. You don't come with a project in your bag, in your pocket. That's actually so stupid. Even think of that. The only thing you can bring forth is prioritization. So, what is your priority would be a major question. And as far as I was concerned, my priority was very clear that it was the social sector, which has always been. So, that was an honest answer which I gave, which I don't think would have excited anyone.
That's great, sir, because I was so amazed to read that. And let me ask you this question: which is your favorite chapter? Sar's favorite chapter, Rani?
And when you mentioned that each chapter looks like a case study, I was just thinking, originally the original idea was to that too, I think 3-4 years back. നമ്മുടെ കൂടെയുള്ള കമ്പാഷണൽ കോഴിക്കോടിലുള്ള എല്ലാവരും നമുക്കിത് ഡോക്യുമെന്റ് ചെയ്യണം. നമുക്കൊരു എന്താ പറയാ, ഒരു ഓൾ ദോസ് വർക്ക്സ് ഹാവ് ടു ബി ഡോക്യുമെന്റഡ്. അപ്പോൾ ഓരോന്ന് കേസ് സ്റ്റഡി ആയിട്ട് എഴുതി അങ്ങനെ ഇങ്ങനെ എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞു. നമുക്ക് പണിയുള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് അതൊക്കെ അങ്ങനെ വിട്ടിട്ട് അങ്ങനെ പോയി. പിന്നെ നത്തിങ് ഹാപ്പൻഡ് ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് ഇറ്റ്. So finally, പോസ്റ്റ് ലോക്ക്ഡൗൺ വെൻ ഇത് ഒരു സാധനത്തിലേക്ക് വീണ്ടും എഴുതുന്ന ഒരു സംഭവം ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ വന്ന സമയത്ത്, essentially what happened was these case studies were kind of collected. അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇത് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ഓഫ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. But then I thought, കേസ് സ്റ്റഡി ആയിട്ട് പഠിപ്പിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ഇങ്ങനെ ഓരോ സാധനം എഴുതി വിട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ it's so boring. Who is going to read this? You need to have a narration. You should have a story. You should have something within it. Storytelling is the essence of it. So you convert it into a free flow of thoughts. So that's the next thing that happened. And then I wanted this to be a entertainer. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് അതിനകത്ത് I wanted illustrations, I want stickers, I want this to be like I say a blockbuster movie. Somebody who watches a movie, ഒരു സിനിമ കണ്ട പ്രതീതി കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിനകത്ത് രസമുള്ളൂ. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ I don't know, why should anyone, in fact, I like this most of these American books. When I was preparing for the civil services, I remember I used to depend on this psychology textbooks which were published in the US, because the method was completely different. It could be pure theory, boring theory, very tough theory, but when they present it, it looks very readable. It's very colorful, and there is a narration in it. There are small boxes with stories and all this stuff. It's completely different. I don't know whether you read this illustrated version of Sapiens. Sapiens is a very popular book. Everyone has read it. It's beautiful. The original book itself is really good, but then there's an illustrated version of it. ഈ ചിത്രകഥ പോലൊരു സാധനമാക്കുന്നത്. I think that's one of the best books you can gift to a child. Uh, Somebody gifted it to my child, actually. That's how I came to know that such a beautiful book exists. In fact, I love that book more. വളരെ രസമായിട്ടാണ്. So I think narration and the way you communicate is also important. That's why such a serious stuff, ഇത്രയും, if you really did make it into a traditional case study model, it would have been so boring. At the same time, you'll find that all the chapters have references. If you go back to the reference page, you'll find that each and every incident has been cited. And other samayate, it could be a media report, it could be a publication, it could be the official post and the Facebook post, whatever. All these things have been chronicled very clearly, as if you would be doing a case study project. So I think it's a mix of the traditional method and also the narration that appeals to a general reader, to entertain him and engross him, that we have tried to adopt. And I'm happy that it's working out at least. വായിച്ചവര് ഒരു പോസിറ്റീവായിട്ട് പറയുന്നതിൽ വളരെ സന്തോഷമുണ്ട്.
Sir, I have a surprise for you. I have a surprise for you. I have a
Okay.
surprise for you. So I have
Okay.
actually invited someone who read your book probably firsthand, and then gave introduction to your book. So let me just invite much respected Tony sir,
Oh.
former CIO of Nizar, and of course advisor to many companies, an investor, and my
Oh
mentor.
God.
So Tony sir is there. Sir, you have done the introduction
Hey,
to this
that's a
amazing book.
surprise.
Correct.
Hey
Yeah,
bro,
I
how are
kept it
you?
a surprise, and I told Tony sir also, let us keep this as a surprise for you. Thank you so much, sir, for joining with
It's
us.
such a pleasure to see him.
Sir, so how you felt, probably one of the very early readers of this awesome book. So how you felt it?
Um, Bro, once again, congratulations on an amazing journey with the book. You've done a great job.
Thank you.
When I read the book the first time, I was absolutely touched by the simplicity, right? The big stories. Because what Bro has done with that book is he's taken some very complicated administrative, bureaucratic, sausage making, and explain to people that at the end of the day, it is all about making difference in people's lives. And in a way, it actually motivates people to do bigger and better things. I think that was what I really enjoyed about that book, and that's the reason. Every step of the way, I told Bro that this is something that you should keep doing, not just do one book. I think you should keep doing this as a series, so that it can become a subject for young kids, especially young MBS, or even beyond, right? In management schools. And I even told Bro that this should be taught in civil service academy, because at the end of the day, you are taking something. We all have our perceptions about an administrator, an IAS officer, right? But we really don't understand how much they touch people's lives on a daily basis, right? So I think that becomes very important to me.
So, yeah, that is, what is that question you want to ask, Prasanth?
I have one question, bro. We always talked about what the book means to others, but my question to you is, what does it mean to you? How has it affected you? Especially, you're still in service, you're writing a book, like we talked about even before the book was published. And of course, you don't shy away from controversies for sure. So how has this book touched you?
I think even though I do write, I've been pretty lazy with coming out with a publication or a book in that sense. So it was my wife who was very instrumental in pushing me to this writing side. More so because I think she has a hidden agenda of pushing me away from movies. So maybe she thinks that I should take up more of writing. So she was very, very important in this scheme of things. But when I started off writing, I think I really do enjoy writing, and it's a creative process. So, as I was just telling Srikaran, just putting the words was not enough for me. I wanted to have cinematic flow. I wanted it to have illustrations that go with it. Uh, the design should be perfect. So, getting a team involved that could get out the real best thing out of the possibilities. So that was a creative, painful experience with a lot of pleasure at the end of it. Orgasmic pleasure, as they say, when the final book comes out. So that was a huge, great process. And I think it was also, especially towards the last portion, you have been in Japan, so you would really appreciate this just in minute kind of thing. The book production was just in minute, just in time. So I managed to bring out it at the deadline we had put for ourselves. Everything just managed. So that was a good distraction as well for me from all the useless controversies that keep popping up at the most inappropriate times. So that's also there. And I thought we should speed up the production of the book, because maybe that's the best time to launch books. Good or bad news, you are anyway in the news. So let's launch the book. So I think personally that's what I think of when about the book. But then at a very personal level, there are certain intentions behind the book as well, as you clearly know. Uh, there's a philosophy, there's a idea which we seek to push and make happen. I don't know whether it will happen or not, but then there is an attempt that we need to make. I think this book, if it succeeds, and if there are certain there are people who read and get uh, either converted to believe in this idea, or that we could raise resources. I think there is a possibility of something to be done, where I think all of us will have some role to do. And I think it's wishful thinking. It's again quixotic, but why not?
uh, with your permission, I just would like to read one more portion, just last. I'll leave you quickly. This is from the chapter VIP culture. So, as I have Tony sir, both of you here, so I'll read this because it's one statement which is quite profound and really liked. So, the sentence goes like this: as a citizen, as a common man, as a human being, everyone wants to be treated with dignity. It hurts when you don't get a fair treatment or someone else get unfairly privileged treatment. The feeling of injustice or indignity hurts everyone. So this is one sentence which really impacted because I have seen people behaving to even to securities or probably even to underprivileged people like we are privileged and you are not privileged, or we are authoritative, you are inferior to us. So this has hounded you to become an IAS officer. Probably, if I say this statement. So, do you really feel is this really how it can be changed in people, like in that mentality? How can this be changed?
Like, I don't know how it can be changed, but I think that the ability to think of the other person, empathy or compassion or whatever you call it, I think that's very key. As youngsters, as kids, if you don't uh, bring up your kids in a certain manner, I think you are never going to get this. It's all about upbringing, I feel, and also exposure. The way how many of our kids actually have seen underprivileged child or got to interact with them, an orphanage or a child or an old age home, or any of these, to at least understand that you are bloody lucky. You are so fortunate. You have been disproportionately blessed with so much of fortunes. These are realizations that you get when you get exposure. So sometimes I feel, when you try to bring up your children in a cocoon by not giving them exposure to the difficulties of life, they assume that the life or the world is hunky dory, everything is good, and those who are not having a good life have some problem with them. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. There are privileges. There are things that helped you to achieve certain things. Even birth itself is a huge privilege. Uh, Getting born in a country, in a certain place, in a family, these are all privileges which I think, are not in your hand. So you need to count your blessings, as they say. Uh, and for that, you need exposure. You need to have guidance. Your thought process should be guided. Uh, Now it's being guided exactly the opposite route. When you inject a lot of competitiveness, sometimes unknowingly what you're doing is you're making your child very insensitive uh, to the losers. So when you call somebody a loser, you're essentially showing that insensitivity. Uh, that word loser itself has a connotation. Losing is not that bad. Sometimes you need to lose, and you need to live a life imbibing those losses and to accept those losses. Uh, this idea, this concept of losing itself has to be deconstructed, in my opinion. If the child really doesn't understand how to lose gracefully, it's going to be a big problem when he grows up. So the more competitive you make the child, you tell him you study, you don't focus on anything else, you don't think of the other child, you just focus on your studies. At the end of the day, probably he'll be academically well off, maybe he'll career wise also he might be well off, but then because he is not sensitized to emotions, he's not sensitized to others difficulties, he or she might put you in an old age home and totally abandon you when your time comes, and then you'll be surprised, why did he do that? He did that because you taught him that. Precisely that's the reason why he's doing that. So maybe we need to catch them young. I'm not an expert on this, but I think making people sensitive is the way to make a change, I guess. I don't know.
Same question, like if another 2 minutes so we have, so I prefer to ask the same question to Tony sir as well. Sir, how can we sensitize these people on treating everyone equally?
Yeah, I think Prashant very well covered it. At the end of the day, when we talk about uh, walking in another person's shoe, right, it has to be not just figurative, right, it has to be literal. And bro and I had spoken about this, about the privileged class, right, and he kind of alluded to that about in the early stages of life. But imagine the life of an IAS officer, right? Once you become an IAS officer, right from the minute you go to your training and then you come beyond, when was the last time you would buy your own milk, right? When is the last time you drive your own car? When is the last time you go to the grocery shop to and see the crowd and feel the crowd, right? But remember, these are people who make life and death decisions on behalf of other people, right? And I'm using civil service as an example because the book is about the quixotic Thallals of an IAS officer. But so you have to really make a concerted effort to be connected to the people, right? നമ്മൾ എപ്പോഴും പറയും നമ്മൾക്ക് മറ്റുള്ളവരെ കാണുമ്പോൾ സഹതാപം. No, സഹതാപം is different, right? It's not about the sympathy aspect, right? It's about, hey, it's a privilege, right? And Prashant said it very, very correctly. The privilege starts right from the minute you're born, right? Because you didn't choose where you're born, right? It just happened to you. Now, ever since, right? I mean, there's absolutely no difference between the guy who drives my car and myself, right? It's just that by luck of a draw, he got certain privileges or didn't get certain privileges, and I got it, right? It's only as simple as that. Other very important, and I'll probably tell you one story. When I joined Vodafone as a CIO, one of the things that I insisted was that everybody should pay their own bill. Everybody should go to a shop, Vodafone shop, if you have a problem. I'm talking about the senior management, right? Because until you do that, you don't really understand what your customer goes through. You cannot sit in the back office and then decide something what is best for the customer when you don't know what is good for the customer. So you can extend this particular topic to anything and beyond administration, beyond our normal lives, beyond corporate, anything and beyond.
Thank you so much, sir. So, just to summarize, like again, this is 184 pages of awesomeness. So, I really love the way each story is being narrated, or probably each case study is being crafted. So, I really feel like all those students, professionals, everyone should read this, either the English version or Malayalam version. And again, I'm happy that they are contributing a lot of words to the English language. So whether it is buji or Thallals too, there are a lot of words now. It's gonna be reflected in Indian English. So I'm sure about that. Sir, thank you so much and congratulations for this amazing book. And let
Thank
this be
you.
the bestseller even in a week's time. I know that this is a bestseller in Amazon and it's getting popped up in all the advertisement, all the feeds in Facebook. So this is going to be a really a game changer. And my question again, when is the next book coming up?
Well, I wouldn't say anything right now because there is actually another book which was almost ready when this suddenly happened. So let's
Okay.
see. I mean, but it's completely different genre. That's completely different. Uh,
Okay.
let's focus on this book for some time now. I am really tired writing this book.
But I really love to read that the last sentence of your last chapter. I really love that. I don't want to miss it. So I will just read that out because that has really made an impact while mentioning, even while reading this. So the sentence goes like this, a statement goes like this. This is the closing statement of the last chapter. So it talks about, remember, when you express an act of compassion, it drastically changes someone's life, and that life is yours. Such a profound statement. We usually say we are changing someone else's life. So what I have mentioned is when you express an act of compassion, it drastically changes someone's life, and that life is yours. And I feel this entire book is not about how you transformed others. It's all about how you brought more values, more transformations, more changes to your own life. Is that the correct way to put this book?
That thank you for taking the essence out of that. In fact, this sentence, I remember when I was in Kozhikode, we did a short video to popularize compassionate Kozhikode. Uh, it was a different kind of a thing. So at the end of the whole video, just a 3 minute video, which shows different acts of compassion with dignity, without usually when they shoot a film on compassion, they show somebody giving something to someone, or that hierarchy would be there. This video is there on YouTube. If you just actually Google for compassionate Kozhikode, you will find that. That was my first, that was my directorial debut as well, by the way. So it's close to my heart. So this video, it's all about sharing. It's about caring. It's about compassion. So you will find instances shown in that video, totally different from the different, the usual portrayal of, say, charity or anything of that kind. So when this video closes, in the end, uh, I had written this as the closing message. It just says, your one act of compassion drastically changes someone's life. And that's it. And then it's blank, and then this comes up, and that life is yours. So that's how it closes. So I somehow, when this chapter was written, and again when that closure came, somehow it just came to the exactly same mood, same atmosphere. So I had to put in the very same words there. So I'm so happy that you liked it, and I'm blessed if more people like that and take that message actually, because that really comes from my heart. I really mean it when I say that, because I've transformed a lot when I went through all this in Kozhikode. Because you see, when I joined there, I was a different person, and I left Kozhikode, I'm a different person, and I keep, I think all of us keep changing every day. The whole lot of incidents when it happens in your life, a lot of experiences, it really does transform you. So in that sense, it's also my transformational story, which I'm trying to say in this book. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So once again, wish you all the very best and for the success of this book. And thank you so much, even to give us this gift during the summer vacation time. And I feel like everyone should buy this and please enlighten your friends, relatives, and everyone, because this is really this has a lot of things to learn from how he tackled a lot of issues, how he managed things, how he empowered people, how compassion have been inculcated in the habit. So once again, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Tony, sir. So this is the end of our Thallals. So thank you so much for joining with another, the first episode of Kappi with Kiran.
And
So I
thank you
want
for
to,
the surprise, because it's a long time we caught up, and I mean, because I rushed to this election duty, we couldn't catch up. So I'm so happy that we could at least meet online.
We'll catch you once
Thank you
you're
so
back.
much.
So enjoy Calcutta,
Yes.
and once again, good luck with the book. Thank you, Sri, for having
Thank you.
us.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Tony, sir, for
Thank you so
joining
much.
with us. Thank you so much, all the
Thank
viewers.
you.
Thank you so much. Have a great week ahead. And please buy this book and read. Wish you all the very best. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.